All right, to do worksheet number 1, you're going to have to identify the index fossils that are shown here, the eon it was present in, the era it was present in, and the period it was present in. Now, what makes these fossils special? These are all found in New York State. They're all known as index fossils. They tie in with our lessons on correlation, where we learned correlation, the ability to match up rock groups. We use colors of rocks, textures, compositions to match up groups in one outcrop with another. We match those up. We sequence the layers. We say this is the oldest, this is the youngest. And here we have this idea about index fossils, fossils of organisms that existed for a relatively short period of time, but can be found over a wide area. Here's actually the answers to each one of the index fossils. Let's see how I got them, and then I will ask you to continue and see how your answers compare to my answers. So the first one we had here, we see this picture of this fossil right here. It matches up with fossil that we're going to find on page number 9 in the reference table. It's this one right over here. Right? And you see there's a letter U right there. I'm going to just make a little mark right over here. This is fossil letter U. Now, the name of the fossil and the organism is given right here. The cystophyllum, put that down here. But how do I get the organism's group, its eon, its era, and its period? For that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that letter U that I have here to find it in the time distribution of fossil chart right over here. And here are different groups of organisms. The letter U is attached to the corals right here, and you'll see that I wrote down corals. That is the group that the fossil belongs to. The next thing I want to do is find the eon. Now you'll notice that all of the answers here are Phanerozoic. And why is that? Well, the way this chart works is if I open it up like this and I go across like this, I can keep on going and I go into different sections. The section here tells me the period the organism was around. So look at that. I actually pick up the period probably before I would pick up the eon there. Just by going across the paper, I've got the period, and in here, you'll see I put the period Silurian. So maybe really that's, after I get done with the organism group, maybe I should do the period next. I'm going to just give you the idea that once I've got that idea of the period, if I continue, I end up in this section right here, and you'll notice I'm on the era section. So we have a lot of different period sections here you could end into, but actually there's only 3 different eras that you could end up in. And the era that we end up in here is the Paleozoic. So you'll notice that I've written down era Paleozoic. Now finally, what about this eon? And you'll notice all the eons, all the same, Phanerozoic. And that's because for the fossil evidence that we're going to find, these index fossils, they all belong to the sections of eons. You'll see eons is actually cut into 2 different sections, the Precambrian and then the Phanerozoic. Brings us up to this section right here, Phanerozoic. So we have that. All right, so that first one is filled out. Let's take a look at the second one. The second one is this organism right over here. That matches up with the organism that you see in the bottom corner right here. You see it has a letter A above it. We put that letter A down in here. And that gives me the name of the organism, the Elliptocephala. Okay, so there is the name. Now I want to get the organism's group. I'm going to take a look at this section right here, and I find the letter A is in this column right here. Go up right here, and it says trilobites. So the organism's group is the trilobites. Now, once again, probably go period, era, and then eon is going to be Phanerozoic. Period-wise, we follow this across here to the side. We get the Cambrian period. So here's my periods. Here's Cambrian. That goes into the answer booklet right there. And if I keep on going into the next section, that goes into the era section. 3 eras, Cenozoic, Mesozoic, Paleozoic. We see that we end up in the Paleozoic. So there's the first 2. And of course, as I was saying, we end up Phanerozoic, eon. So there's the first two. Let's take a look at the third one. This is an organism that matches up with the one that's on page number 9 right here. You'll see it's named the Naples tree, and they give us the letter Q for that. So we've got the Naples tree. We'll put the letter Q in there, and let's see what organism it matches up with. That's going to match up with this column right here, which is vascular plants. So I put vascular plants. Now, just like we did before, I think we should do period, error, and we already know what the eon is. So letter Q is located right here on the chart. If I go over to the side here, I'm going to find that it belongs to the group of organisms that lived during the Devonian period. So you'll see I put Devonian in there. I keep on going to the left. I end up in the Paleozoic section right there. So that takes care of that, and Phanerozoic's done too. Okay, so now that you know how to do this, what I'd like you to do is to complete the chart on your own, checking with my answers, just make sure that you got them correct. Probably a good idea is to put down the letters that you have here to help you along the way. Take a look at the answer key. I'll leave that up for you to look at for a while, and I wish you a lot of luck. This will help you get ready to do worksheet number 2, which is your homework assignment. Thank you. Have a great day.